shit gets dangerous. God, she always made that look so easy. I believe she got the connection there. Very smooth, very demure. Hey everyone, welcome back to Darren Tumbles. Today we're going to be looking back at Aly Raisman's routines. We're going to be watching the Visa Championships because when I try to watch and react to Worlds or the Olympics, I almost always get copyrighted, so we're going to try to avoid that today. But Aly Raisman is an exceptional gymnast who's very well known for her tumbling and her vaults, but we are going to be watching all 4 routines, so let's jump right into it. We're starting on floor. This is probably Aly's best event, and she's very well known for this first pass. Round off 1.5 step out, round off handspring, double Arabian to immediate front layout. It's just stunning. The way she wraps that 1.5 so tight and quick, and then just a perfect step out to that lunge. Huge height in the double Arabian, and then the front layout. I'm pretty sure I watched like a video about that tumbling pass where she didn't even get more points for the front layout. Like, she could have just done a front tuck out of it, which is easier than a front layout, but she made the choice to go with front layout just for the sake of aesthetic, just that it looked pretty. And then we have the double Arabian pike to a split jump, and I want to see more of that. And it's not something you see in any other tumbling sport, like power tumbling or cheerleading even. You don't see those athletes who flip connect a jump out of their flips, so I think it's just super cool, and she pulled it off very well. Next, we've got a triple full. And see, now in 2024, I feel like you don't even see that many triple fulls. This was such a golden era of gymnastics. Their skills are just out of this world. Double pike, again, immediate split jump. That seems so difficult to me too, to add that split jump out of it, because your landing has to be perfect out of the double pike. If you land short or over rotate, you're not going to be able to connect something out of it. So to be able to do that is so cool. Let's watch her vaults. Obviously, Aly's a very powerful gymnast, so her vaults were always one of the best. I will not say her form was always the best, but she always had like the most power in her vaults. So let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, so she always went for the Aminar, which we can appreciate going for the difficulty, but you can see how she kind of cranks that last half turnaround. Let's see if she, got her hips and feet around at the end, or if she landed short. Okay, so it wasn't even like fully completed, the twists, but I'm curious if she got credit for it back then. I just don't think she was getting like the same explosive block off the table as her teammate Michaela Maroney. Again, like, clearly she was capable of doing this Aminar, and it got a lot better as years went on. See, this is why I wanted to do this too, is like you can see where these gymnasts started out at the beginning of their elite careers before they did any Olympics. And it's just interesting to see how, like, oh yeah, like their skills really did improve. Next, we're gonna watch beam, starting with a split jump onto the beam, punch front, solid, back handspring layout, no step outs, which is an interesting choice. I feel like that makes it a lot harder to land on 2 feet than to split and land 1 foot than the other. Front pike to a standing layout step out, incredibly difficult. I think there were a little bit of bent knees in that front pike, but still insanely impressive. A jump to back tuck. I believe she got the connection there. Very smooth, very demure. Side aerial. Little wobble. What is up with the side aerials giving these elite gymnasts wobbles? Like, they will hit the most difficult routine, but when they get to the side aerial, one of like the easier skills, they be wobbling. Okay, but she did nail the turns, which is another area that's like, okay, it's easy, but she could have made a mistake, but she didn't. She is a class act, very mentally tough. And who could forget that iconic dismount, the double Arabian? That one was a little scary. She kind of landed locked legs. And last but not least, bars. I'm gonna be honest, you guys, bars is probably my least favorite event, but I can still appreciate some good gymnastics on it. So let's go ahead and see what's going on here. We've got a full turn on the low bar, some leg separation, but she's getting good height. Her transitions was very smooth, no real issues there. A little bit of flexed feet. I mean, she's throwing in big skills for sure, but the form is not the best. She went for that double front dismount, which is an interesting choice. I always felt like doing a flyaway type dismount would be easier. But you know, every gymnast is different. And you know what? This was not the original purpose of today's video, but we are going to go ahead and look at her routines 4 years later in 2016 and just see if we notice any differences in what she improved on. All right, so this is 2016, her best event, floor. I believe we are going to see that iconic tumbling pass again. I am excited because I have not seen these routines in years. One step into that 1.5 to double Arabian to front layout, and God, she always made that look so easy. That's what was so impressive about it, is that it looked so easy, but she packed so much in that one tumbling pass from corner to corner. Like, oh, just so many skills in one pass. We have to go back and watch again. I'm sorry, we have to. And I feel like here in 2016, where she looks a little happier, a little less stressed, like she's already proved herself. So much height in that double Arabian. You guys remember in like this most recent Olympic trials, they had that like infographic of Simone Biles tumbling 12 feet up in the air. I feel like Aly's double Arabian reaches like that same height. And she only took one single step into the tumbling pass. That is insane. And it was such a smart tumbling pass too, because it was very easy for her to stick a front layout at the end of it. So not only was it difficult, but she made it look clean by sticking it almost every time. Okay, so same second pass as we saw in 2012, the piked double Arabian, and she added a stag jump out of it, which is not my favorite jump, but still very impressive that you're able to land that piked double Arabian and add something out of it. Double layout, huge height again. Again, the only person that I really like noticed tumbles as high as her is Simone Biles. And her double layout was good. Like, we know Aly doesn't have the best form on all 4 events, but that double layout was very stretched out. Double pike, so easy for her to dismount with. She even had that little hop backwards because she had just a little too much power. But she made that double pike look very nice. Her toes were pointed. We appreciate that. This is what I'm curious to see, is if this Aminar improved. Okay, she definitely gets that twist around better 4 years later. Still that little bit of bent knees at the end, but I'd rather see bent knees at the end than keeping her legs locked, because that's when shit gets dangerous. But it's crazy to think that like she was one of the best gymnasts in the world in 2012, and like she went on to improve even more than that. Let's go ahead and watch her beam. Same mount that we just saw from 2012, which, hey, stick with what you know, right? Front pike to a jump. Again, the bent knees in the front pike. I wonder how critical the judges were of that, because obviously you have to bend to land, but I feel like she bent those knees just a little early. Handspring, layout with 2 feet again. Interesting. If it was me, I'd be stepping out. That pike jump was gorgeous. She was like basically folded in half. Hey, that side aerial was solid though. And I feel like that's the confidence that you get from so many years of being an elite. All right, let's see if this dismount improved. Oh, no, just kidding. Not the dismount yet. Front tuck to a split jump. That was very, very solid. All right, here's that dismount from a round off. Huge height, yes. Do you guys see the difference from 2012 to 2016 in that? That 2012 one we saw, under-rotated, kind of scary landing with the lock legs. 4 years later, over-rotating, very in control of where she was. Oh, and like the height she gets from punching off that beam is like so impressive. I feel like we don't see that a lot nowadays even. Like, I see a lot of beam dismounts that are a little sketchy, like they're kind of low, people landing with their chest down, and they're trying to just wrap those flips around super quick. Aly had like more than enough time to complete that double Arabian. I mean, look at how high she is when she finishes the first flip. She's way above the beam. I feel like I see some full-in dismounts off beam nowadays where like they're completing the first flip almost like below the beam. And it's like, how are you gonna get around that second flip? But watching Aly's dismount right here, it's like, oh, of course she has it. Like, look how high she is. I mean, she landed that basically standing straight up. That is crazy impressive. All right, and last but not least, we are gonna watch her bars. One thing I'm looking for is if she's pointing her feet more. So far, so good. That was very pretty, very stretched out. Oh, it's hard to tell from this angle if she's pointing her feet in those releases. But from what I can see, the form has improved a lot, actually. Oh, she did stick with the double front dismount. Interesting. I do not remember that about her routines. One thing you can say about her dismounts is she always had enough height, and that's true even on bars. All right, well, that was super fun comparing 2012 to 2016 and seeing those visible improvements over time. And it was nice to see, like, with more practice and more time, like, confidence just grows. And I think that's true for any athlete. I think we're going to have to do another video like this for other gymnasts who have competed at multiple Olympics, or even just going back to, 2012 or earlier, and kind of seeing how gymnastics back then compares to gymnastics now. I think that could be really fun. But that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.